All right. Welcome to Conversations on Care, our Facebook talk show bringing together our service providers, our clients, and caregivers to help families better understand and cope with aging parents with chronic care needs. Care agency serving the Chicagoland area, specializing in inspired holistic dementia care. It is our mission to help you through this journey and to know that your loved one is living their best life possible. If you find these dialogues helpful, please do give us a like and a share so that we can reach more people with this information.
Hi, everybody. I know Julie's working on her audio, and I'm Lori Gibson. I'm working with Julie to have a conversation today. I'm a certified aging in place specialist with Home for Life Advantage. So glad to be here today. Thank you, Julie.
Yeah, absolutely. I am checking to see if everyone can hear me, but it's really great.
Sounds like the mic went out again. So just so happy to be here. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to talking about aging in place and how we can create an independent environment and really look for solutions for those that are aging in place and give some really good tips, as well as some other ideas for them to live independently.
Perfect. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Sounds like I'm back right now. So this is live TV, kind of. So we're going to wing. Lori is a certified aging in place specialist in Home for Life Advantage, bringing more than 20 years of outreach and business development with diagnostic testing, and currently
Julie, the mic went out again. So I just wanted to I'll just go ahead and cover that. So I've been working with business development for over 20 years, but recently 3.5 years with Home for Life Advantage, which is an accessibility home modifications company. So really when seeking out what I really wanted to work with, I found Home for Life Advantage, and Cindy and Ryan are the owners. They're certified aging in place specialists. They're the most knowledgeable, the most compassionate, just professional people to work with. So I was taken in by their enthusiasm, their compassion, and how much they help people and make such a big difference for anybody who had a new diagnosis, aging in place, somebody that has a disability coming out of rehab, a hospital stay, just, anybody with a mobility concern, we can help at any age. So I was taken in, and now here I am with Home for Life Advantage as their business development specialist. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the topic today. We are talking about independence in your home. And one of the statistics was 90% of people, older adults, want to remain in their home for life, but we want to find ways to help them be more safe, be independent, find solutions to be proactive, and find the supports they may need to keep them there and happy in their own homes, aging in place. So what is certified aging in place specialist? I'll just go over that real quick. The National Association of Home Builders created this program and certification, and it really does go through everything that you need to know product-wise, and working with different types of care plans and how to incorporate different equipment and accommodations for those that want to age in place. And the last one of the classes that we taught was all for occupational therapists. So when you go in, you are trained, myself, our owners, all of our installers, everybody at Home for Life is trained and certified to go in do an assessment, look for things that could be hazardous or what's your challenge, find solutions, and then install all the equipment and accommodations. So it's a one-stop shop, but very, very knowledgeable. You want somebody who you can trust, that they're putting in things that you need, not too much, not too little, that they're done correctly using ADA compliant guidelines. So that's the background and how I came about to be with Home for Life, and a little bit about that CAPS program. Are you back in, Julie? I can't hear you. So anyways, we'll just keep going. We talked about CAPS, the CAPS program, and it really does help you evaluate and that you can adapt your home to be accessible, adaptable, and visitable. So we do everything from ramps, stair lifts, grab bars, entryway.
Lori, can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sam.
No,
thank you for carrying on there. I think it looks like I'm getting signs up from our technical support that I'm back in. You can hear me, so thank you, Lori.
You sound great.
So you were just telling us a little bit about. Well, let me ask you a question. Your background, how you got into this field, this important field of home modifications. Can you tell everyone who's listening, I don't think you had a chance to talk about CAPS.
Yeah, so CAPS, what I was mentioning, is Certified Aging in Place Specialist. And really, when you're seeking out somebody to come and do some work in your home, whatever type of modification, a CAPS specialist is trained to identify risks and make recommendations and then install. So they follow universal design guidelines and ADA compliant guidelines. It just makes sense. So, you don't want somebody installing a grab bar. You want it to be bearing that weight. So, for example, our grab bars bear 400 pounds, the standard ones. It has to be installed in the stud. So they just know different things. Even working with a care plan, they'll look at that and look at where your weaknesses are, and they know where to place, the equipment. Are you using a commode? Can we use, put in a higher toilet? Mm-hmm. Do you have incidents of UTIs and are having challenges with that? The day toilet seat installed really helps those to reduce those incidences of UTIs, and they're great for caregivers and great for people that want to toilet themselves on their own. So. Sure. All those types of
so things. Important. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about for a second. I think many of us have probably heard this, but and I don't remember the statistic. You might know the statistic, but a large percentage of injuries happened at home, and that's just for the general population overall. And then if you also then factor in people that are older. Those injuries tend to be more serious. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And what are some of the, some of the kinds of what causes injuries most often at home?
So a few of the statistics by the CDC. So 90% of older adults want to remain in the home. Some of the stats were staggering. They were every 11 seconds. An older adult is in the ER for a fall. Every 19 minutes,
every 11 seconds, an older adult.
In 19 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall, and that's per the CDC. So we want to be proactive. We thought we have to take a look at what we're doing and really get the word out. A simple grab bar vertical coming in and out of the shower is just life-changing, seriously, and it's not a huge change. But you look at, they also report, the CDC, that 30 to 50% of these falls, accidents, and injuries can be prevented by this equipment. Imagine somebody who's now using a walker and cannot come straight into their bathroom. They're going sideways. That's a fall risk. We can put in a hinge, and what this offset hinge does is we put the hinge in, and it takes that door out of the doorway. because there's like 2 inches. It's just enough for someone to go straight in with the wheelchair or walker, or we can modify and widen that doorway. You can't be going sideways. You're gonna fall. You look at every 1/4 inch is a trip hazard. So if you look at uneven flooring, or we could even put slip-proof coatings on wood and tile. They now even have tile out there that has the non-slip coatings on there for bathroom. Just so many cool new things. So we look at how can we be proactive and prevent that fall so you can remain in your home. And again, simple things like this, that, sensor lighting. Is everything well lit? That's another factor, how
Big
are you?
factor.
So
Proper
really,
lighting is a big factor.
right. So all these falls and injuries, I would go to a rehab center and talk to them about different things that they can advise their patients before transitioning home. And they would say, 3 of my patients are in here right now by using a suction cup grab bar, and thought it was going to bear their weight. Serious accidents happen.
Sure.
And, I know I always bring my props, but, you have a suction cup grab bar that all of them, every model has 2 labels on them saying they do not bear weight. They are not intended to be a grab bar, but people still buy them.
Sure.
And then I always show this, you have to have a professional ADA compliant grab bar that is going to be installed into a stud, really professional. You want it done right, so it's going to hold you. This will hold 400 pounds, and it will not come out of the wall. You can do, gymnastics on these things when we put them in.
Sure.
So it's real important. You want to make sure, wow, if I'm slipping and I have soap in my, you know what I mean? You want a contrasting color as well, so you can see it. As we age, everything becomes muted. So those are just things that you think, wow, I want to be proactive. So we want to at least try to reduce that incidence of a fall.
100%. When we go into someone's home, we do a evaluation of where are their fall risks. Often they're simple things like throw rugs. Loose throw rugs are just a simple but huge risk to people. But there's some small things that can be done. You look at a much broader perspective. Talk about the kind of evaluation you do, and how do you start the process of assessing what are the needs in the home to keep someone safe?
So we have referrals from all over, from family members that heard of us. Again, the rehab centers, the hospitals, the discharge planners, the therapists, the directors of rehab, realtors, people that are transitioning, the veterans programs. Veterans also have eligibility for home modifications based on their level of service, from $2,000 to $90,000 for home mods. So we like to educate them and say, here's some things that we can do. So once we get that call, we do a consultation, learn about their challenges, what their care plan could be, and work with that. And we schedule a 1-hour free assessment. So we start from where they wake up to where they go to sleep, and we go through the home and we make recommendations. So it could be they want to start with just a simple couple of grab bars in the bathroom, but now they know eventually I really want to take that tub out and I want to make it barrier free, and I want to, so there's things that they could lead into. So we'll give them all that information. And then the number one thing too is somebody who's now in a wheelchair or walker and they are unable to leave their home. We bring them home from rehab or a hospital stay, or they've been diagnosed with a progressive disease, and now they're in their living room, and the family says, we'll be back, we have everything you need, we'll be back on the weekend, and they can't leave their home and talk to their neighbors and see, just do what they normally were able to do. So we try to figure out how do we let them become independent and get them in and out of the home. So important. So there's things like, of course, the ramps, the vertical platform lifts, outside stair lifts, some of those that are We even look at tripping hazards coming in and out of the entryways. And this could be even in the home. I don't know if you can see this, another one of my props, but this is a really cool thing. It's called a threshold ramp, and it's made out of recycled tires, and they're cut to measure. The thickest it could be is 3 inches, but you place this, we cut them to measure, and they're placed by your thresholds where those tripping hazards are, like by a patio door. Sometimes you have a lip, and like again, 1/4 inch is going to have you tripping. So this is a really great product, and it's super heavy, so it's slip resistant. So something as simple as this is going to help too, coming in and out of the home. It's just, think about even the pandemic. We all were stuck in our homes for a period of time.
Sure.
And, it was really, really, kind of like, wow, we're isolated. If you're alone, it was really difficult. So you can relate to somebody who now has a new challenge to face like that. So anyways.
Absolutely. And, I remember, oh my gosh, this must have been many years ago, more than 10 years ago, when we had a client who's, suffered a fall, had permanent damage, came home from the hospital, and he lived in Morton Grove, and it was a pretty classic home in Morton Grove, and there were 2 concrete steps, excuse me, to get from the front door outside, and the same thing for the back door. There were that same 2 concrete steps. And I remember that we started to talk to different home modification people. The son asked us to. They didn't know what to do. They didn't have any idea. And I remember you and I were talking about this. There's a lot that has to be thought about. You think about, you just put a ramp in, but it's more complicated than that. At first we thought that, but then we learned the hard. Take us through like an example of some of the things that people have to think about to get around steps.
Right. Now you're transitioning home. How do we get you in the house? And number one, if you have a attached garage, it's a wonderful thing to put a garage ramp in because it's much, much less expensive. And it's that you're out of the elements. So that's one thing we look for, number one. And then they could pull in, they come out of their wheelchair, and they're right in that garage ramp. So that's an option. If somebody has 2 to 3 steps, the takeaway is every city, every town, you have to pull a permit, and it has to be code of the ADA compliant code of, for 1 inch up, it has to be a foot out. So if you have five rises, and each rise is 6 inches, plus you have a lip to get in, you could be looking at over 40 feet of ramp. And that's expensive, and you might not have the footprint to put that ramp in. So then we look at, it's cheaper to put in a vertical platform lift, which is actually you wheel onto the lift and it takes you up and puts you through the entryway. We have to redesign that entryway to make it barrier free, but that's another solution, as well as an outdoor stair lift if you can transfer. A straight stair lift coming like in the back door, like he had a few steps. If he was able to transfer, the outdoor stair lift would run. You just have to make sure it's free and clear. Indoor or outdoor, somebody just asked about pricing on some of these products. And a straight stair lift coming either inside or outside is $4,200 installed. We put them in 24 hours. We have a 24-hour turnaround time because some people are transitioning home and they want a stair lift put in. So we kind of do a really quick response on that because family members are like, what do we do?
Sure.
I remember this poor man, his wife was sick, and he was in his 70s carrying her up these 4 stairs. And my God, talk about what could have happened there. So, you have all those things. Honestly, home modifications are not covered by Medicare or any insurance unless you have like a long-term care policy. Some Medicare Advantage plans have that in there. It basically is a private pay situation. We have never turned anybody away in 35 years. We tried it. We've actually recommended crowdfunding. People have actually gotten some of these things done when accidents happen through, GoFundMe. Some of the associations, like from ALS, stroke, MS, Parkinson's, there's grant things, opportunities there. So we just kind of try to find whatever we can. And for an older adult just wanting to put in a grab bar, it's pretty much private pay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I can think about through the years helping families, and particularly one particular stroke victim who lived in a beautiful home in Highland Park, and her husband was an incredible caretaker for her. And it was really important to her and to him both that she was able to sleep in her own bed with her husband on that second floor. Now we talk about quality of life, and then be able to get back downstairs. And I believe it was a fairly steep staircase. And so a home modification company came in and installed a chairlift, and it was incredible. I mean, it was just. I mean, it was kind of, she had her freedom back, and the husband and the wife could stay in bed together, which was so important to them. And it was also important for her to engage in life with the rest of the family when they came over. So,
for normal life, like when you think about a stair lift, people with COPD, balance issues, older adults taking each other up and down the stairs, from their bedroom, like you just mentioned. It's a huge fall risk. And, we kind of make jokes about it, that you can send your laundry and your garbage up and down, and the dog and the grandkids have a carnival ride. But really, it's just a life-changing experience when you don't feel that fear of going up and down that stair,
Right.
Railings with returns. I mean, you want to make sure, if you're not ready for that yet, but if you're putting in some things, railings on both sides, so you're not grabbing onto the wall. But a straight stair lift installed is such a great, it's a lot of money, but my gosh, the fall is life-changing for anybody who's an older adult. It really is.
When you say a lot of money, Lori, what are the kind of the ranges of prices that you've seen with stair lifts?
So really, for us, putting in any stair lift, whether it's indoor or outdoor, if it's straight, it's $4,200.
Straight meaning no landing or
curving. If you have a curve, they could be about $15,000, $16,000 if you have a curvy, because they have to take pictures of every tread. It's custom rail.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if there's 5 steps, a landing, and then you go back up 8 whatever steps,
mm-hmm.
it's cheaper to put in 2 straight stair lifts if you can transfer at that landing. So we look at everything. What are your options? Can you get in the bathroom? Half the time somebody's coming home from a hospital stay and we get the call, how am I going to get my husband out of bed? How am I going to help them toilet and get in the bathroom? We can't even get the wheelchair in the bathroom. It's just such a, there's so many things. I was telling you that there's a wall hung toilet that gains you 10 inches in the bathroom.
Right.
Put the tank in the wall, and you could put it at any height.
Right.
It solves a lot of problems. A quick story about somebody we did years ago, and this young man was 19 years old with CP, and he wanted to be independent, and his mother was just looking for solutions. So we created his ramp right into the landscaping. At that time, they even had you can open his door by putting in a code. It was an automatic door opener. Mm-hmm. He had the use of just his left arm. So we redesigned the bathroom, put all the controls on the long back wall, brought it to his level with the handheld, and he could roll in the shower, take care of all his bathing needs, and then transfer onto a bidet toilet seat and toilet himself.
Gotcha.
So thinking about how, for us, okay, that's incredible, but for somebody who was able to do that at 19, a game changer for him.
Absolutely.
So yeah, every story is just amazing.
It is amazing.
Help somebody.
You know, so many of our clients live in condos or are part of a homeowners association. So the question comes up all the time, well, am I going to be able to make a change? You know, we'll do assessment, and the question is, can we make a change? This is, you know, in with this homeowners association.
And for a renter.
And for a renter, yes. So tell us a little bit what your experience is with that.
Yeah. So that does come up quite often, and most people are thinking, I can't put this in, but you're protected by the Fair Housing Act that allows you to make reasonable accommodations. The landlord does not have to pay for it, and they may ask you to take it down. In our 35 years, no one's ever said, take this down. Take out the Comfort High toilet, take out the railings, take out the grab bars. We've put in stair lifts, ramps, you know, really, again, for a homeowners association where they want everything to look perfect, they're usually really good about working with that patient or that homeowner.
Good. All right.
So
well,
we do counsel it, and we bring the documentation to share with them.
to support to tell the family that.
Yeah. The family's protected by the Fair Housing Act to make those accommodations.
All right. Well, that's really important for families to know. And I think that we only have a few minutes left, but you know, one of the things you and I were talking about the other day is new technology and innovation. You know, it's changing everything that we do. So can you talk a little bit about how technology is helping with home modifications and helping keep people safer in the home?
Yeah, so it started out like, let's just get sensor lighting in. It makes sense. You know, you're going, where do the falls occur? Bathroom to the bedroom. It's so cheap to do sensor lighting. It's $25. It's, you know, makes
so people get up in the middle of the night and they have to go to the bathroom.
Right.
It's dark. That is one of the most common hazards that we see all the time where people fall. Yeah.
So simple as sensor lighting. We look at Google Home and Alexa. We've been incorporating that into appliances and things that help, you know, turn my shower on at 110 degrees at 8 a.m. Well, that's fun for us, but for somebody who is with a caregiver, the caregiver can get that set up without having to be using controls and getting wet. You know, there's people, we did incorporate a lot of products for two people that were blind, and they have colorless faucets that you can speak commands. Give me 8 ounces of water, give me 2 quarts of water. Like, just amazing. You can incorporate into cameras and things and alarms that can help with a homeowner that's working with someone who has memory issues. Even things accessible, there's you know, we like drawers instead of cabinets because they pull out. They have now dishwashers and microwaves that are drawers that are more accessible. We bring all the outlets down. And if you are redesigning, we're licensed in universal design, which means it's adaptable, accessible, and visitable by all. So we look at, hey, let's bring all those outlets down in your heating mechanism, your heat and your AC. We went into one woman's home. She was in a wheelchair and she was using a pool stick to change her. So just bringing things down to that level, if you're making changes, makes sense, you know. So all those kinds of things. Google Home, I mean, it's more and more. We're going to be doing out when it's finished. We're doing a new presentation on it with all new products. So I'll share that with you and we can have another discussion.
All right, that sounds wonderful, Lori. So we're almost out of time, but for folks that have more questions about this or know of someone where they really need to talk about home modification now, or I would imagine you also do planning for the future, not in an emergency situation.
Oh, for sure.
We all prefer and love for people to be able to think about those things so we don't get these urgent calls. So how do they reach you? What's the best way to reach you?
So reaching me, you can set up a free home assessment by calling our office, which is, I'll put it in the chat. And they set up the 1 hour free home assessment. And then we just put Home for Life. We also have a website, homeforlifeadvantage.com, and you can even click on that and request an appointment. So whatever makes it easier. And once we set up that appointment, you'll get your, again, being proactive. If you're making changes to your bathroom and remodeling, think about taking the tub out, making it barrier free. There's so many beautiful designs now that don't look institutional, and just makes a lot of sense. Those walk-in tubs, by the way, we'll put them in. They're very, very expensive, and there's no return on your investment. And we've had incidents where clients were actually stuck in there all night because the drain wouldn't go down. You can't open that door unless the water's out.
Oh my.
So think about that. Oh my goodness, that was so tragic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, Lori, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much. Thanks so much for carrying the ball, the first part of the conversation. We were having some technical difficulties. We really appreciate that. Lori's information is up now where you can reach her. And Lori, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. It's really important, and hopefully people have learned some new things that can help keep them safer at home. So thanks, Lori.
Thanks, Julie. Independence for all. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks so much.